Hi everybody, I'm so glad to have you here on the farm with me today. Today we're talking about 3 different ways to improve your new year on your homestead. Not surprising, the first thing we're going to do is reflect on last year. We're going to think about last year and we're going to decide what was truthfully profitable. What makes something profitable is really up to you. So obviously there's whether or not it was financially profitable, which means it brought in more money than it cost you. There's also our time. So if something was extremely profitable, but it ended up being so much more work than you thought it was going to be, you have to factor that in to whether or not it is truthfully profitable. And another portion of profit that I really want to talk about, that I think we don't think about too much, is whether or not it brought you joy. So I'm going to pull back in our memories and take a chapter out of Marie Kondo's book. I know that may sound really silly on the homestead concept, but the truth is that sometimes I know outsiders look in and they're like, wow, that portion of your life is a lot of work, and it's not as profitable as some of the other areas. But if it brings you joy and it makes you excited to go outside and feed the animals and do the work, then you need to keep it. So don't let other people convince you that it's all about the numbers and it's all about profits. What brings in the most income into your house. While that is important, it's not the only factor. Because if you don't do something that you enjoy doing, you're going to get burnt out really fast. And as my husband always likes to say, if you love it, it's not work. So moving on to trick number 2 in improving your life on the homestead in this new year, I am going to become an even more calculated planner than I was last year. 2 of the tools that are going to really help me out this year is I got from Amazon a Homestead planner. So this includes so many different things than just your regular planner. You know, I've seen a lot of cool planners. I'm a teacher. We love our planners, but this is something totally different as far as we're talking about the homestead. So it has places for you to plan your projects. Something I'm really looking forward to is I'm going to keep track of all of our costs. I think if I'd done that this year, I might cry, but this has a place where you can keep up with what you bought on what day. And then in the back, I've already put in some of our profits for this year because we've sold some of our hens. So right now, we're in the black. We've already made money in comparison to what we've spent on chicken feed. This is another great way to keep up with all of your canning and preserving. So one of the things that I'm really looking forward to is I'm going to think about everything that's involved with each one of our projects. I want to make homemade pasta sauce. I've watched lots of videos, I've read some stuff about it, I'm really excited. It's a lot of work, but we do eat a lot of pasta in my family, and I think it would be a really fun experience and so much better for us than the stuff that comes from the store because it doesn't have the same amount of preservatives and salt and all that stuff. So I'm really looking forward to that. But not only do I need to make sure that I have all of the jars and the funnels, but I also need storage space because in order for that to be profitable, I'm going to have to make tons of pasta sauce. Do I have a pot big enough? Just all of those planning pieces that go into a project, those aspects really slowed me down this year because I was like, oh, I want to do this project, and then it came time to do that in my year and I did not have everything ready. The other planning piece I think is really going to help me keep on track this year. My mother gave me this daily list. Now, this is not even for the day, like things you're going to do. It's based on the hour. And what I love about that is that it really does help me stay on track. So I really only use these on Saturday and Sunday so that I really utilize that time that I have uninterrupted at home. And it's been really helpful. Today I've really stayed on track, and it's a really good thing for me personally. So I'm really in love with this. I don't know where she got it, but I would just type in daily list. You could even get something that had, the only thing I wish this had was a grocery list place. It has a spot for notes, and it has, you know, some goals for tomorrow, but I really wish it had lines so that I could write my grocery list, because I end up writing my grocery list on another list and then this list, and I tear them both off and I walk around with them all day. Because I always grocery shop on Saturday or Sunday, because that's when I have time. So planning ahead and really being mindful and trying not to plan too much for each month, really kind of spreading out my projects so that they don't all line up. Oh my goodness, I need to harvest and make jam and can jalapenos and do all of that stuff. I don't want it to be all at the same time. So I think going through this and thinking about my whole year and kind of spreading out the projects and things will really help me. So tip number 3, I want you to again reflect on your year and reflect about your plans for the future. And then I want you to choose some things that you either don't know much about, new projects, or older stuff that you want to learn more about. So again, we are chicken farmers, and so I am going to be delving into the American Standard of Perfection. This is how most chicken breeders and judges, if you're going to county shows or state shows, then this is what they use to grade and rank the chickens. And so I always want to be making sure that we are providing high quality, really well bred chickens. And in order to do that, it requires research. I am a huge proponent of reading the actual book. If you're good, you can read it on the Kindle, then do that. But I like to hold a book in my hand. I like to be able to write notes. I like to be able to bookmark spots. I'm just old-fashioned that way. I really like to hold the book in my hand. I also have a book from the Bantam Association, which we recently joined. I'm really looking forward to looking at that. And then, of course, if you've been paying attention to my other videos, you know that sheep are a new addition to the farm. And of course I did a lot of research before I got sheep, but before we start breeding, I am definitely going to be checking this one out very thoroughly. And I'm really looking forward to that. We have a type of sheep that can breed any time of year. And if you own sheep, then you know how special that is, because they aren't going to lamb during January and February, which is like the worst weather of all time in Texas usually, so you won't have to be risking your life making sure that the lambs are okay and that everybody's doing well during that time. So we're planning our first lambing season for May, and I'm really looking forward to that. Neither here nor there, I also want to talk about a book I do not own yet, but I have pre-ordered Chickenlandia's new book. She's one of my favorite YouTubers that she really has found her specific niche. She loves chickens. She knows all things chickens. And I have learned so much from her already, but I am really looking forward to having her book. You can already pre-order it on Amazon. This is an unpaid advertisement. I just love her, and I think you should check her out as well. So that's what I'm going to do. We're going to think about what brings value to the farm in all the different ways. We've planned, we've thought, we're going to utilize our time, and I'm going to read some really good books in this next year. So I hope these tips help you with your homestead or your farm in the next year. I also want to take this opportunity to say by the time this video comes out will mark that I have been putting out videos on YouTube for 6 months. And again, I also hope to have reached 300 subscribers by then. And I just want to thank everybody that watches faithfully every week. Or if you are new, welcome. I hope you enjoyed and you found this video helpful. And I hope to see you next time on the farm. Bye, guys.